At some point in 2026, the conversation around Kim Taehyung quietly changed. People stopped talking only about charts, or visuals, or popularity rankings. Instead, fans started using different words. Presence, energy, emotional impact. And strangely, those words now appear more often than discussions about fame itself. Because according to growing conversations across global ARMY communities, Taehyung's influence in 2026 no longer feels limited to ordinary celebrity popularity. It feels bigger than that. Not necessarily louder, not necessarily more public, but deeper. And that emotional depth may be becoming the defining characteristic of Taehyung's current era. Throughout BTS's Arirang World Tour, one pattern has appeared repeatedly online. Fans constantly describe feeling emotionally affected by Taehyung in ways they struggle to explain logically. Sometimes it happens during concerts, sometimes through random fan cams, sometimes through interviews, quiet reactions, or even moments where he barely speaks at all. Yet people continue responding intensely, not because of dramatic actions, but because of how his presence makes them feel emotionally. This has created a fascinating shift in how audiences talk about him in 2026. Years ago, discussions surrounding Taehyung often focused heavily on traditional idol strengths. His visuals, stage charisma, fashion influence, vocal tone, and unpredictable personality. Those qualities still absolutely exist. But lately, fans believe something else has started overshadowing all of them. His emotional atmosphere. That may sound abstract, but fans genuinely describe it that way. Across TikTok, X, Reddit, YouTube comments, and Korean communities, people repeatedly mention how Taehyung's energy now feels emotionally heavy in the best possible way. Not negative, not dark, just emotionally powerful. Some fans even admit they cannot fully explain why certain Taehyung clips affect them so strongly anymore. A simple glance toward the audience during Arirang, a quiet smile after hearing fans sing, a soft expression while standing silently on stage. None of these moments should logically become massive viral topics. And yet they do, because audiences increasingly react to Taehyung emotionally before they react intellectually. That difference matters. Celebrity popularity usually depends on visibility, trends, media attention, and performance success. But emotional presence operates differently. It creates attachment that feels personal rather than promotional. And many fans now believe Taehyung's current influence comes from exactly that type of emotional connection. One reason this discussion has intensified recently is because his most viral 2026 moments have rarely been traditionally idol-like. Instead, they've been deeply human. The Mexico concert moments became one of the clearest examples. When Taehyung casually grabbed a corn dog during Idol, fans exploded online. Not because the action itself was extraordinary, but because it felt spontaneous and emotionally real. The same happened when he held cotton candy during day 2, or when he stood quietly listening to the audience sing, or when cameras captured subtle emotional reactions during concerts. These weren't huge performance moments, yet they generated enormous emotional response globally. Fans repeatedly explained the virality in similar ways. He just feels real now. That phrase has become central to Taehyung's 2026 image, because people increasingly feel that his presence no longer comes only from celebrity mystique or performance skill. It comes from emotional authenticity. This shift became even more obvious during the California pickleball clips with Jungkook. The videos themselves were incredibly simple. Laughing, joking, playing casually, relaxing together. But the internet reacted as if something emotionally significant had happened. Why? Because audiences weren't responding only to entertainment anymore. They were responding to emotional atmosphere. The clips felt comforting, warm, natural, human. And according to many fans, Taehyung's energy within those moments felt unusually grounding. That grounding quality appears constantly in discussions surrounding him lately. Fans describe feeling emotionally calm simply watching him interact naturally in public settings. That reaction goes beyond ordinary popularity. It reflects emotional resonance. Some fans even compare Taehyung's current influence to cinematic actors or artists whose presence emotionally shapes environments without needing constant performance intensity. Rather than demanding attention aggressively, he now seems to pull people toward him quietly. And ironically, that subtlety may be exactly what makes him feel so powerful. The Las Vegas Arirang concerts pushed this conversation even further. After day 2 at Allegiant Stadium, countless fans online described feeling overwhelmed simply watching Taehyung exist on stage. Not necessarily during choreography-heavy moments, but during pauses. The way he looked into the crowd, the calmness in his expressions, the silence before vocal parts. Fans repeatedly used phrases like, "His aura filled the stadium. You could feel his energy through the screen. He barely moved, and everyone lost it. His presence feels unreal lately." These reactions reveal something important. People no longer view Taehyung's impact purely through traditional celebrity standards. Instead, fans increasingly interpret him emotionally. That emotional interpretation may explain why discussions surrounding his aura have become so dominant in 2026. Normally, celebrity popularity rises and falls rapidly with trends. But emotional attachment operates more deeply and lasts longer because audiences feel personally connected to the experience itself. And right now, many fans feel emotionally connected to Taehyung in unusually intense ways. Part of this may stem from visible personal growth over the past few years. Following military service, solo activities, and the emotional evolution of BTS's comeback era, Taehyung appears calmer, more self-aware, and emotionally grounded than before. Fans constantly reference interviews where he explained that military service reset his mindset and helped him grow mentally stronger. Since then, audiences believe his public energy changed noticeably. Earlier eras often emphasized unpredictability and chaotic charm. But in 2026, his strongest quality seems to be emotional steadiness. That steadiness creates trust. And emotional trust creates incredibly powerful audience connection. Even during stressful public situations, such as the controversy involving private messages with former Odair CEO Min Hee-jin, fans noticed how calmly and honestly Taehyung responded. Rather than escalating conflict, he focused on emotional sincerity and privacy concerns. Once again, fans described his reaction using the same words: real, human, grounded, mature. This consistency across completely different situations is important because it suggests that audiences no longer separate celebrity Taehyung from person Taehyung as strongly as before. Instead, the two images now feel increasingly connected. And perhaps that's why his presence feels bigger than simple popularity. People aren't only admiring the performer anymore. They feel emotionally attached to the human energy they perceive underneath the performance. That emotional attachment becomes especially visible in concert environments. During Arirang shows, fans frequently cry during surprisingly subtle Taehyung moments. A quiet smile, a thoughtful expression, a soft interaction with the crowd. These aren't necessarily moments designed for dramatic impact, yet audiences react intensely anyway, because emotional authenticity often creates stronger reactions than calculated performance ever can. Interestingly, even casual viewers outside the fandom increasingly notice this quality too. Viral clips involving Taehyung regularly attract comments from non-fans saying things like, "I don't even follow BTS, but there's something about him lately." That something is difficult to define precisely, but fans believe it comes from emotional presence rather than celebrity branding. And in modern entertainment culture, emotional presence may ultimately become more influential than traditional fame itself. Because audiences today crave sincerity. They crave people who feel psychologically real in a world increasingly dominated by performance and image management. Taehyung's current public image fits perfectly into that emotional cultural shift. He still carries luxury fashion influence. He still dominates concert stages effortlessly. He still possesses one of the most recognizable faces in global entertainment. But underneath all of that, audiences now increasingly sense emotional honesty. And honesty creates emotional gravity. That gravity explains why even his smallest moments become massive discussions online. not because people are merely obsessed with celebrity, but because they feel emotionally moved. As 2026 continues, fans will likely keep debating exactly what changed about Taehyung's presence during this era. Some believe military service transformed him internally,